Thoughts on that? I saw that you wanted to say something,
bro. She was over there getting
bro.
bro,
she is ready for this. You are ready for this, aren't you?
Okay, so go ahead and then we'll spin around the table.
She's having a seizure.
I don't really have anything to really negatively say because I feel like your opinion is your opinion. Yeah, no. But I just think, like he said, it's kind of needy because, like, why can't I go out with my homegirls for a week? No, you kind of passive aggressively was like, well, she's not my girlfriend anymore if she does it. Okay, but why?
For every action
that seems annoying. Like, why can't I go out?
You can go out. You can do whatever it is you want to do, but I don't have to tolerate that behavior. Listen,
but what behavior is that? What kind of behavior is that?
Well, whatever behavior I feel I'm not going to tolerate.
But what are you not tolerating? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, I just listed it for you a little while ago. Bars and clubs.
Okay.
I don't commit to women who go to bars and clubs, who are friends with their exes, who are on social media, who travel alone. And any woman who has anything to do with me, if they have a problem with that, that's no problem. Like I'm not trying to force any woman to do something that she doesn't want to do. But I think what a lot of women really have a problem with is that most men don't understand their value. My girlfriend is a beautiful woman. There are a lot of beautiful women, but there are a lot more of her than there are of me. And so that's what gives me the leverage.
But like, what does your value have to do with her going to the club with her friends and having a good time? But that's what you just kind of connected to.
Well, that's why she's more likely to stick around. Yeah, that's called a checkmate.
No, it's not, because I'm confused. That's why I'm looking.
There's nothing.
I'm also confused.
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
Let me clear up the confusion. The deal is this. It's not that I don't tell my girlfriend what she can and can't do, but for every action, there is a consequence. Most guys don't stand by their principles. These are my requirements. Not everybody agrees with them, and I've lost a lot of girls because of it. But this is how I live my life. And if a woman is going to be a part of my life and what I have to offer, then she is going to have to adhere to my requirements. If she doesn't want to do that, no problem. You can be single and everything is fine, but that's just what I require. And I'd never apologize for it.
Do you feel
I think
like...
it's not, I don't think you need to necessarily take it in being this like horrendously like, oh my god, the male toxicity way, because like years ago I was seeing this girl, right, and this was many years ago before I learned a bit and became a bit more savvy, and she used to work in a restaurant. So she worked at this restaurant, and we were kind of living together at this point. She worked at this restaurant, and then she would go out with the other staff from the restaurant after work on the shift, and sometimes she'd be out till like 5, 6 in the morning.
She was getting piped.
She probably was getting piped.
Or doing hella blow.
Probably both.
Or both.
Probably both. But the point is this. So I found that obvious, as you can imagine. I found that whatever you want to call it, distressing, whatever, right? Because you don't want to be laying there in bed till 5 in the morning thinking, well, is this person getting piped? Is she doing blow? Is she getting piped while she's doing blow? Is she getting, what,
she is.
What, and undoubtedly all of those things were happening. But so off the back of that, now I would not be in a relationship with somebody who wanted to do that. Now, that's not to say that I believe that a woman shouldn't be allowed to work at a restaurant and go out and party with their colleagues afterwards. That's absolutely fine. Everybody's free to do what they want. I personally wouldn't want to be in that sort of relationship again, because that's just not something I want to be involved with. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm talking about, boundaries.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was it repetitive? Or was it like a one-time thing, like she'll go out with
her? With her? No, I mean, listen, this was many years ago. I was drinking too much myself. I didn't really understand these dynamics. I was very needy at that point as well. I'd gone through this period where I was sort of figuring this stuff out, and I allowed stuff to happen that shouldn't really have happened. I shouldn't have remained in that relationship, because as it turned out, it's very bad for me. It was very toxic and all the rest of it. But that's not a mistake I would seek to repeat, right? So if then I met somebody else and they kind of wanted to have that sort of dynamic, that's just not something I would tolerate. I just, okay, that's fine, that's your life, but I'm gonna go and find someone else, because that's just not what I'm about.
Cool. All right, so we'll move on. What are your thoughts on that? Disagree, agree?
My answer is still the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they should break up.
All right.
Yeah, my answer is still the same too.
Still the same?
Yeah, it just comes down to preference, honestly.
Okay.
So.
I just feel like with relationships, you need this open line of communication as boundaries go and all of that before you even get involved. So if that was said case, then you wouldn't really be worrying about this. I feel like in this particular case, obviously, like he either didn't trust her to go on these trips or whatever, but whatever the case may be, like I feel like he should have already set those standards like when they got together. So then had they done that, then he wouldn't even be questioning like, should I break up with her? Like she should already know like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this. And or if she was with someone who didn't mind whatever, then it would be different. But had they already set those boundaries, then there would be no confusion. So
okay.
And I think as well, you don't even necessarily need to sit down. It's like Andrew Tate was saying on here the other day. It doesn't need to be you sit down and you're like, right, this is what I expect, and you're sort of writing out a contract. Nowadays in my dynamic, when I date women, they kind of just know from the vibe that there are certain things that I'm just going to see as, I'm just going to not really be into, she's not going to stay out all night if she's staying with me. She just kind of knows that. Now, if she does, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to complain, but we're just not going to see each other anymore. We're not going to see each other the same way. And I think that's what Tate was saying when he was on here the other day. It's not about laying down the law, but it is about, I've got certain standards. I've got certain things that I want. And if you don't adhere to that, then that's fine.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Like nobody's upset. It's just that, hey, if you regularly engage in activities that put our relationship at risk, then
like
I can't swim with you anymore.
Yeah.
If you're getting piped regularly and you're doing blow,
or getting piped while doing blow through a pipe,
or somebody doing pipe.
That's crack.
Oh shit!
How do you know that?
What?
How do you know that?
What do you mean?
420.
Dare, baby, dare.
One of my homeboys, what had happened, he had told me.
All right. What about you? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the man sets the dynamic of the relationship, and he should set that up early on, just in how he acts and how he approaches things with his girl. And I feel like if he has made it clear to her that that's not something he's comfortable with, and she's planning the trip anyways, that's reason enough to break up with her.
Okay.
But if it's something that you didn't really establish early on in the relationship, then she didn't really know otherwise to do otherwise.
And I think that's what Donovan was saying earlier, ladies, is that he doesn't date women that do that, and he lets them know that up front that this is unacceptable behavior. So for her to still want to do it tells you what you need to know.
I don't tell them that it's unacceptable behavior. It's just the kind of behavior that like I've been dumped plenty of times, and not even to my face. If she goes to the club, I guess she dumped me.
Okay.
This is how that works.
Fair enough. What about you, Chi-Town? Agree, disagree?
He said
does it change your view on it? No?
Okay, so this is like what I feel about it. Like when you set standards, you know how you are when you're single, you know how you are when in a relationship. For me, I'll go out and go to clubs, but what are you really going out for? I don't go out without a table, and I'm not gonna fuck these guys. But it's still like that disrespect of being around random ass men getting drunk.
Yeah.
What are you staying out till 3, 4, 5 a.m. for? If you have a guy at home or a girl, whatever, you're
so are you changing your mind?
Something. I mean, I don't think they should break up. I mean, you have a conversation and then move forward. But I feel like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you should break up.
Okay.
Because
there we go.
Because the mentality won't change. She may change her answers for a second, just like appease what a woman should feel like. But at the end of the day, like, how to explain it? I don't know. I like dancing, but why would? And it's Cancun in Atlanta.
All right.
You could go to Wyoming and have a girls trip.
Listen.
It's not like that. What you gonna do in Wyoming?
Listen, 13 people live in Wyoming. Ain't nobody going out.
Yeah. Right. All right. What about you, Lovely? What's your thoughts on this? I know you had some.
No comment.
You okay? No comment.
Oh,
and then Venezuela.
On, Lovely.
She asked her question and just said,
yes.
"Fuck it." All right.
Yeah, like if she told you like, hey, I'm going to Cancun with my friends, yeah, you're already breaking up.
That's
like,
right.
Okay. So a question for you, just because I want to kind of get your, because I can see that you disagree very strongly with his points, and he was trying to explain you something about leverage, and I don't think you might have not understood it. I have a question for you, just to see where you kind of stand on this. What percentage of men do you think are 6'2" and earn, let's say, $500,000 a year or more?
More.
I would say probably like 20% out of 100.
Okay. So, and this is why that was so important for me to ask that question. So
funny you should say that, Myron, because those are my metrics.
Yeah. So, and I want to say that just so you can know. So only about 1% of the U.S. population earns $450,000 a year or more. That puts you in the top 1%. And then on top of that, that's all earners: men, women, gay dudes, lesbians, dudes that are ugly, dudes that are short, old men, etc. So a guy that meets that metric, that's also of a certain height, and then we haven't even gotten into personality, being actually understanding how to be attractive to women, whatever. It's a very small percentage. We're talking about less than 0.5% of the U.S. population. So what he was simply trying to say is that no, it's not 20%. It's more like 0.5% meets these metrics. Now, beautiful women are common. Men of that status are not. So if something is rare, who has the leverage?
The rare commodity.
That's what he was trying to explain. And I think, and that's not your fault because, you know, you're 19. So like, you might not know that, but 20% of the U.S. population doesn't even earn $100,000 a year. So I think it's a little bit skewed. And I've come to realize this about, like, you know, younger women that tend to be a little bit more attractive. You guys don't really understand how rare it is to find a guy that's attractive, makes money, and is of a certain height. You guys tend to think that these guys are extremely common, and they're really not. It's just that the circles that you're in, you see them all the time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this type of guy is going to commit to you and take you serious in a relationship. And I think that's the important thing to distinguish.
I'll add this too. I think what a lot of women don't understand is that 90% of men are invisible to 90% of women. If I were to ask every one of you guys in here, who cheats more, men or women? Well, of course, men cheat more. Wrong answer. The reason why you think men cheat more is because you're only thinking of the top 10%. The reason why you thought 20% of men are 6'2" and make $500,000 a year is because the bottom 90% are invisible to you. Those average men do not exist in your world. So when we ask you how many men do you feel are sexually active? I don't know, 70, 80%? Wrong. It's like 10%, like 1 out of every 10, maybe 15 guys is fucking. So just understand that when you think about this in this context, just understand we're talking about the entire male population, not just the top 10%. So most women have no idea that the bottom 90% they're completely blind to.
What do you gotta say? You want to add to that?
I don't really have anything to say. It's just like,
you just blew my mind.
We're still
is that what that was?
We're still talking about the question and that
about like should you break up with her? And he's simply saying you don't you got to have boundaries and be willing to enact and walk away. And the reason why is because as a man of a certain status, you actually have the leverage. It's that many guys don't understand that they have the leverage.
I feel like either way, whether you have $1 million or you have like $50,000 or 10,000, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, people have fun how they want to have fun. And if she thinks having a round trip and going to the club with her homegirls is fun, it shouldn't really matter. But if you guys have had problems in the past and stuff, that's something y'all talk about. But to say that, oh, because I'm like whatever, the man in the house, then you shouldn't be doing certain things.
I never said that she should not be doing
that's
certain things.
That's what it's giving though.
Okay,
like,
but I want to make this clear, and I said this from the start. I will never, ever, ever tell a woman what she can or cannot do. I'm not her father. I'm not trying to order anybody. I'm not trying to put a gun to a woman's head. I'm not about issuing ultimatums. I'm about giving you choices. You can either go to the bar or the club, or you can be in a relationship with me, but it's not going to be both.
But you said yourself that you don't tell women off bat when you start dating them, like, hey,
I don't allow this. Why does it bother you that a girl wants to go out and have fun?
One question at a time. It doesn't bother me, but I don't date women like that. To answer your question, here's the way I do things is this: if I'm dating a woman, I never angle for a relationship first, because I don't have to. I wait for her.
That is an important point, by the way, because again, I'll go back to if we knew a little bit more about how long this guy had been seeing.
I don't think it matters.
I think it's key. Well, I'll explain why in a minute. But I think how long the nature of the relationship, and I think not chasing for a relationship too early on is so important.
Yes.
In this context.
So the way it goes with me, it's real simple. If a girl likes me enough, then she is going to angle for, you guys know how it is. So what's our title? What are we doing? What is this thing called? At that point, I know she's angling for a relationship. I discourage her from being in a relationship with a guy like me, because it is not easy to be in a relationship with a man like me. I'm just letting you know. She'll try it 2 or 3 times, and I'll say, okay, do you really want to know what it's like to be in a relationship with a man like me? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Are you ready? Fucking go ahead. Unlock your phone and hand it to me right now.
But it's like,
hold on. I'm not done. Hold on. If she decides not to unlock the phone and hand it to me right now, okay, great. Like, no offense. You're fucking other girls. You're fucking other dudes. I'm fucking other girls. That's just how it goes. Well, when she hits me with it next time, she'll be like, okay, here's my phone. I'm not really looking. I don't give a damn. So she's going to say, so what are we? Well, that's a start. What do you mean that's a start? Well, I mean, I told you it's not easy to be in a relationship with a guy like me. Well, what does it take to be in a relationship with a guy like me? I can't tell you what it takes, but I'll tell you what you can't do. And I'm never going to tell you what you can or can't do. I'm going to give you a choice. I don't date women who go to bars or clubs, who are friends or text their exes, who travel to travel destinations, all that other kind of stuff. Are you telling me that I can't go to the bar or the club? You can do whatever you want. Are you telling me I can't be on social media? You can be on social media. But if you engage in these activities, you make yourself the kind of woman that I don't date.
Sorry.
And listen, you don't have to be sorry. It's okay. Like being
no. I didn't say sorry.
No disrespect, but you come off like a very insecure guy.
Hold on.
No. Whatever you want.
Wait. So get this right. He's saying he has some standards, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all on the table have standards 6 feet, maybe 6 figures. All these standards, right? These are his standards, and you're fighting him on his standards.
No. His standards has nothing to do with what you're saying.
Why can't men have standards?
Those standards has everything to do with actions, not physical appearance.
You mean putting your relationship at risk?
I have
no, it's not that. Like
okay, hold on.
Do you not trust your